Hello all, Shoestring here. Today I'm going to show you this new battery that I'm planning to upgrade my own systems with. This is a LiTime and it's a 12 volt 100 amp hour. Now this is a smart battery and I don't normally do smart batteries because I do really inexpensive batteries that work well. But this one, for its price point, is extremely well priced for what it does. Not only does it have a Bluetooth, it says it does, it has what's called ComFlex. And that's a communication system that not only works with the monitor, but also will work with your entire system. So it will talk to your inverter and it will talk to your charge controller and make sure everything in the whole system's going well. At the moment, though, we're going to unbox it, see what's in here, and we're mostly going to be talking about the Bluetooth, which is what I'm interested in right now. So what do we have? We have a quick start guide. Those are always nice. And we have, and here you can see, ComFlex Edition. It's a smart battery because of the Bluetooth. And for those that are interested in the sizes, of course, this is a group 31. A lot of people like to know that to see if the battery will fit on their boat or in their RV or whatever, their camper, whatever they have. It's, of course, 12.8 volt and 100 amp hour, and it's a LiFePO 4. And we'll go through that in a moment right now. And here are our bolts. We've got 2 of them with little covers on them. We like that. And what are these? Communication ports, I would think. So we'll break into those later to see what they are. Because at the moment, I don't know. I'm just opening this. Nice cover there. Treat everything gently, right? All right, here is the battery itself. Let's go ahead and take it out. And more foam on the bottom. If you can see that, it was packed very well. I like batteries that are packed well because sometimes they don't. Turn it around. So you can see again, it's right, LiTime 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour. And Smart and ComFlex Edition. Today we're pretty much going to talk about just the Smart, how that works with the Bluetooth, and it says 5.0. That's very good. See, we have our 2 terminals, and we have, looks like some communication ports right here. We will dig into how that will work in a moment. And a button turns our battery off and on. Just like that. Anything else that's important that we can see that's here? All right, your normal caution. Tell you where the website is if you need assistance. And that's everything. So, at the top, by the way, which I didn't mention, because I didn't really notice it till now, we have our nominal voltage, rated capacity, 100 amp hour, of course, rated energy, 1280. Charging volts, right? That's important when you set up your charger for this. And then your output and your continuous output. That's always very nice to know when you're setting up your charger or your charge controller, depending on how you're going to charge the battery up. Today, though, we're going to put on the terminals, and we are going to charge it up with just a battery charger. In a separate package, by the way, I got this monitoring screen, right? And it's for the battery for the RS485 communication, which is what this uses, by the way. That's what they call the communication system that will talk to the battery as well as talking to your charge controller. And it will talk to many different types of smart charge controllers. All different types it will talk to. So you don't have to just use one system. You can use whatever system you have, and hopefully it will be compatible. And this, I believe, is what these wires, which you saw in the unboxing, goes to. So when we get a chance, we're going to take and see if we can actually make all this work together. Now I'm going to charge it up and see how well the app works. All right, folks, we're back here charging up the battery, right? And I wanted to show you some interesting things here. This company, LiTime, is debuting their TS technology for communication. Okay, so This is a whole communication system, right, that integrates everything together. So your smart battery can work on an app. So here we have the app. You do have to go in and you have to register it, okay, which isn't really that hard to do. You need to give them your email, that kind of stuff. And here it shows the serial number of the battery, which is also up here on the battery, and you'll need that right there to register it. Right? So make sure you know what that is, right? You can also scan right here, and it will bring up the app, or you can just type in LiTime, which is what I did, and it pulls right up. Shows you that we're charging it, right? It shows you how many batteries you have in parallel, which of course right now is 1, right? Temperature of the battery. Tells you the system voltage, which is 13.4. The current, right? System power, how much is being charged right now. And the amp hour capability. Then you come in here and you can go in internally, right? It'll tell you the state of charge, which is always important. How much longer before it's fully charged. Then some more information. Voltage, current, once again, power, how much going in, and how much capability we have on the battery. Right now, 98 as it charges up. Also shows you some stuff down here. It shows you that the cells are balanced, right? Got a little guy there saying, yes, got it, all balanced. Tells you about the cells. They're all running normal. And your BMS, which is one of the most important things here. BMS makes the entire system work. Okay? So that's pretty interesting about their app. We also have the monitor, right? And the monitor, what I like about this is it doesn't attach to any type of shunt. As you know, a shunt is connected to one of your battery terminals. And we already have too many things on our battery terminal, especially when you have a battery in parallel, and then you're connecting it to an inverter, right? And pretty soon you have a lot on these battery terminals. And that's even if you're using a bus bar, it can be too many. So I like where they have these connections here, right? This is part of the RS485 system where it can communicate with this right here with the monitor, or it can also communicate with your entire system if you have a smart inverter or charge controller, and the entire system will talk to each other and work very well together. If you look down here at this monitor, it shows you the standard stuff, right? You have the power, same thing you saw on the app, how much is coming in, voltage, state of charge, and a lot of other stuff that you can go through if you really like this battery, which I do, by the way. I like this battery a lot. It's a smart battery. It has the ComFlex. This is the ComFlex edition, which means everything smoothly talks with each other. And that's what I want. I want to be able to communicate with the battery from a distance. And like I think I pointed out before, it's a little bit more expensive than what I normally show you guys. But I think everything that it does, it's worth it. And it's not really that expensive. There's a lot of batteries that are a lot more expensive than this one is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to finish charging it up, of course. Then we're going to take it and we're going to go test it and see if it meets all the capabilities it says it's supposed to do. See you then. All right, we're back from our laboratory test. Everything went as well as I thought it would. It went way over the amount it said it was going to run in the lab, of course. And it had its high temperature and low coolant, all worked extremely well. And well, I do all that down there, and then I bring it out here because people don't want to see the laboratory tests most of the time. They are boring, okay? But what we're going to do is a real-world test. How does the battery work when you're actually running it in real life? And to do that, I like to use older equipment, and I like to use items that have motors, like these two fans. I'm going to be doing these two shop fans. As you can see, they're older, right? And I'm going to be using this small pure sine wave inverter. It's also older, and you have to remember, when you run these batteries and you're using an inverter, there is some energy loss, conversion from this to the battery. So if you do the math, this says it's 100 amp hours, right? 12 volt, that's going to come out to 1280, which means you're going to get about 12 hours mathematically. But of course, we know in the real world that isn't always what happens because of the inverter, right? So we're going to see just how long this will run, right? So we're going to turn it on, the inverter on first. Now remember, with this monitor and with the battery, the app, when it's discharging, it's going to show, it will show a negative. That one says negative 109. That also says negative 109. That's how I like to run the test for 100 amp hour batteries, is right around 100 watts being pulled out. So it should run a little bit more, considering the inverter, a little bit more than 10 hours is a successful test. Now the app will show you right there, okay, that it has an estimated 13 hours, but it's not considering the inverter, right? It's just talking about the battery, which is great. And here we can see they both say how much watts are being taken out. Now motors, of course, don't run perfectly smooth. It's going to bounce around just a little, but so far they're keeping up really well. It tells you the state of charge of the battery. They both do. It tells you the voltage, current, tells you the capacity, right? This says 103.7 amp hours still left, which matches up real well with my lab test. And we're taking out 108.7. This says 108. So everything seems to be working really well. We're going to come back in about 10 hours and see how everything is running, and we'll find out just what this battery can do in real world conditions. Okay, folks, we are back. It has been 12 hours since we started this test, and we still is running, right, the fans, and it is still doing well. It says it has 7% left. At the moment, it's running 101, sometimes 107 watts from the inverter. It says it has 7% remaining, and about another hour, and the battery will keep running. So that's much time over the 100 amp hours it was set up to do. It's doing a whole lot better than that. And as you can see from the monitor, it is also giving us the correct information. So we'll let this finish up now that it has successfully passed this test, and we'll come out here in the morning and do a roundup. All right, folks, our test, which ended last night, was very successful. It went much over the time I expected it to, because this has been overperforming every test we do. So let's talk about it a moment. This is a LiTime 12 volt, 100 amp hour battery. And for those that need it for placing it somewhere, it's a group 31. This is also a smart battery. And I wanted to test that with the app and with their monitor. So what did we find out about it? Well, like I said, it is smart, and it's simply a plug and play. You take the monitor, right, and you plug it in to the connection right here, and that works really well. And I like you don't have to actually have a shunt, and it talks right to the monitor. And if you have it connected to one of the smart charge controllers or inverters, it will talk and control the entire system. That's also good. Checks the battery system in real time. We saw that last night, even though my phone keeps going down. Don't have to keep doing that. Everyone saw it. So in parallel, it says 16 batteries at once. Most of them say only 4, but it will do 16, and this monitor will monitor your entire parallel systems. Now, if you're going to do series, it says no more than 4, so keep that in mind. But it has, when we tested, it has the high voltage protection, low voltage protection, it has low temperature, everything you would expect a really good battery like this to be. And it has the ComFlex, right? This is the ComFlex edition. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, which, like I said, works with your entire system and makes sure everything works well. Overall, it's done an excellent job. In fact, it's done better than what I expected it. And that's good, because I'm planning on upgrading all my systems to smart systems. For more testing, though, this one is going to be used for a substitute of a power station. And once I get that all hooked up and show you how that runs, I'll do a video. As always, I'm going to have a link down underneath here in the description, a link to this specific battery. It is an affiliate link, right? So if you click on it and buy something there, then I'll get something small for the channel, and I'll appreciate that. Also, like, subscribe, Share these if you think it's important. Ask a question, right? If you have one, down in the comments. I'm not an expert, right? I'm not an electrician or a solar expert. I just show you, test, I run, and what works for me. And shoestring out.